guys, just Ash here, and I'm very tired today. I was up until 6 o'clock in the morning watching Wrestlemania, and overall it was just kind of odd. At 6 o'clock in the morning I was ready to go on a rant about how disappointing it was, how awful the ending was, all sorts, but now I've had some time to think about it, and by that I mean I've had some sleep and the energy drink has worn off. I think I'm now ready to give you my honest reactions to WrestleMania 34, and this will contain spoilers for WrestleMania 34, that's your only warning, you now have no right to complain. So, pre-show first, and we had the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. This was your standard affair, there were some good spots, there were some bad spots. Gold Dust dabbing was a personal highlight of mine, but at the end it looked like they were ramping up to have a two-time winner. There was Baron Corbin, Mojo Rawley and Matt Hardy all left in the ring. So, Rawley and Corbin temporarily teamed up to stop Matt Hardy. However, all the lights in the stadium went off, and when they came back, Bray Wyatt had mysteriously appeared in the ring. He caused enough interference to allow Matt Hardy to win the Battle Royal, and hopefully this means that they are now teaming up. I think it was a really good decision from the WWE to keep Bray Wyatt out of the picture after the Ultimate Deletion, and hopefully this is some new growth for him and it'll be a new aspect of his character. Okay, so I have no notes on the Cruiserweight Championship title match. That is how much I care about 205 Live. However, there were a few good spots, including a couple of really good Spanish flies, and Cedric Alexander took the title. Good for him. He really seems like the sort of man who can elevate 205 Live to something that people actually want to watch, instead of that being when everyone goes and gets drinks. So the Women's Battle Royal was at the end of the pre-show, and to be honest with you, I was kind of bored the whole way through. It was very slow, very methodical. I was quite disappointed that Becky Lynch was just kind of unceremoniously tipped over the edge and eliminated. Kairi Sane's awesome elbow was also during a commercial break, so we didn't get to see that. However, it did provide a nice bit of story progression for the end of Sasha Banks and Bayley's friendship. Sasha offered Bayley a handshake, which Bayley took at first, before pushing her over the top rope and eliminating her. However, Bayley's celebrations were unfounded, as Naomi had not been eliminated yet. So she got back in the ring, eliminated Bayley, and became the first ever Women's Battle Royal winner. So now we're into the main show, and the opening match was an absolute stunner. And I knew it was going to be good from the entrances. All three participants had some really cool WrestleMania-worthy entrances. Finn Balor had the all-inclusive entrance. Seth Rollins had that weird White Walker from Game of Thrones cosplay going on. And The Miz had, well, whatever the hell The Miz was wearing. And he sent the Miztourage back. He was going to do this clean, and maybe he shouldn't have, but it was a great match anyway. Highlights for me include the skull-crushing finale off the top rope, a nice coup de grace from Finn Balor, and obviously Seth Rollins hitting his curb stomp on both of the other participants. The curb stomp is one of my favourite moves. I'm so glad they're letting Seth do it again. In the end, The Miz did lose his championship to Seth Rollins, but that's fine. Everyone looked nice and strong here. And Seth Rollins is now the final member of the Shield to be a Grand Slam winner. Next, we have the SmackDown Women's Championship, and I am stunned. Asuka's streak is over, and that's how they decided to do it. Needless to say, I was not happy. I was a bit bitter for a little while, but again, I've had some time to think about it, and this match was actually okay. There were some very good spots. For example, Asuka caught Charlotte's moonsault and turned it into a triangle lock. In the end though, Charlotte got Asuka in a figure-8 lock, and the Empress of Tomorrow tapped out. After the match though, it was very emotional. Both women were in the ring in tears. Asuka declared that Charlotte was indeed ready for her, and then the pair of them shared a very emotional, very heartwarming hug. Okay, I only have 3 notes for the United States Championship. Randy Orton has weird hair. Aiden English is so pale he makes Sheamus look tanned, and what the hell was the point of that? Jinder Mahal won, and I regularly forgot that he was even in this match as we led into WrestleMania, so I don't know what that tells you. It wasn't a bad match, it was just not interesting, and it couldn't keep my attention. Right, this is where WrestleMania peaked for me. I was in love with Ronda Rousey before she even hit the ring. I could not wait to see what she was going to do. And to be honest with you, this match was insane. God knows who ended up legal at the end, but the first half of the match had Stephanie McMahon playing the perfect heel, trying to psych Ronda out and really get in her head. By the time Kurt Angle made the tag and allowed Ronda in, she was furious. She ran straight over to Steph, flipped her over the top rope, and just went to town on her. And after that, the entire match kept escalating. There was never a boring moment. Just when it looked like it was all over, Kurt Angle had Triple H in an ankle lock, Ronda Rousey had Stephanie McMahon in an armbar, Triple H kicks Kurt Angle into Ronda Rousey, and we are back to square one. Of course, Rousey and Angle won. Why on earth wouldn't they? This was a perfect way to start off her WWE career, and it's really shown that she's not just a celebrity making a cameo, she's not just a part-timer, she is here to play. Right, SmackDown Tag Team Championships next, and can I just say that it is really odd that there are so many instances of the champions not coming out last this year. It just seems like there's not enough build-up to them. The champion always comes out last, just not this year. It just fits with the very odd theme of WrestleMania. But maybe that's just me. However, this match was a short, sweet squash for the Bludgeon Brothers. And to be honest with you, the super quick ending to this match really fits with the momentum that the Bludgeon Brothers have had behind them already. It just seems like a logical conclusion to that. And hey, we have new SmackDown Tag Team Champions. Okay, so this is the bit that everyone was expecting, but also no one was expecting. John Cena, who had previously been viewing the show as a fan, had already jumped over the barricade and run up the ramp after receiving a message from an official. Now, we all knew what was coming. John Cena entered the ring to his own music, stood there for a little while, bathed in the glory of the crowd. The lights went out, and everyone waited with bated breath. When who should walk out but Elias? Seriously, Elias. There were a few moments of stunned silence, and then I started to get mad. I was literally thinking, yeah, John Cena's gonna kill him. But it was all fine. Elias came out, did his usual song bit. John Cena gave him the most half-hearted beating I have ever seen, and left the ring despondent to walk back up the ramp. Halfway up, the lights go out again. There's lightning. The Undertaker has arrived. Now, this match may have been short, it may have been sweet, but it was perfect. The Undertaker tombstone Cena, and the match was over in 2 minutes, but it was perfect. It was absolutely that WrestleMania moment. And then we're back to the Shane McMahon show. Daniel Bryan's return to the ring was cut short at first by Kevin and Sami attacking them in the ring, and this left Shane McMahon to fend for himself. After that, I don't really know what happened. This match could not hold my attention. I know Shane hit a coast-to-coast on Sami Zayn. I know that Daniel Bryan ended the match, but I had to look up how. He got Sami Zayn to tap to a yes lock. Other than that, I was completely uninterested. I could not focus on what was going on. I don't know why, but Spooks, my hamster, was more interesting than this match. Next, we have another fairly average women's singles match with Alexa Bliss defending her championship against Nia Jax. Jax won. It was a nice little wrap up to the storyline that had been built over a couple of weeks, with Alexa Bliss bullying and body shaming Nia Jax. So obviously Jax was going to win this. Alexa Bliss tried to hit a Twisted Bliss off the top rope and missed, and was then pinned by Nia Jax hitting a Samoan drop off the second rope. Then we have what I thought would be the best match on the card, but it didn't quite live up to the hype. It's AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Now, I'm not saying that this was a bad match. It was just a lot more slow and methodical than I think I was expecting from them. It's definitely nice to see them in the ring together and to see them work together. And of course, it was very nice to see AJ Styles hit the Styles Clash, take the pin, and retain his championship. Now, I don't think anyone was expecting the turn that happened at the end of the match. Shinsuke Nakamura knelt down to hand AJ Styles the title, and then unexpectedly hit him with a low blow, kicked him out of the ring, and hit him with a Kinshasa. I am excited for heel Shinsuke Nakamura, especially if he is going to be feuding with AJ Styles. I hope this builds into something fantastic and that we get to see them work together an awful lot more. Right, don't get me started about the farce that was the Raw Tag Team Championships. After weeks of teasing, Braun Strowman revealed that his partner wasn't going to be a returning superstar or a legend, No, it was going to be someone from the crowd. A 10-year-old boy named Nicholas. Now, don't get me wrong, this was a cute match, it was a funny match. Nicholas tagged in, immediately regretted it and tagged back out. The referee looked terrified, Cesaro looked absolutely bemused as to what he was going to do, so I think that was a good decision from Nicholas. However, it did allow Braun Strowman to come back in and completely annihilate Cesaro and take the win. Yes, Braun looks strong. However, I am a fan of the Bar. I was looking forward to seeing them wrestle properly, and it was all over in 10 minutes. It was just a bit disappointing. It's really the only thing about this WrestleMania I would call disappointing. And finally, we have the main event. Now, I don't know if this says more about the WWE or the fans themselves, but if they are cheering for a beach ball more than they are the main event, what does that tell you? This match was predictable right up until the very end. Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. It was full of German suplexes. Roman Reigns kicked out of 5 F5s. There were some Superman punches. There were some spears. It was all very predictable. The crowd wasn't happy. There were chants of, "This is boring, this is awful." There were even CM Punk chants at the main event of WrestleMania. And then Brock Lesnar tried to murder Roman Reigns. Brock went for elbows across Reigns' face, and very similarly to what he did to Randy Orton at a previous SummerSlam, Roman Reigns was left in a pool of his own blood. I didn't realise how bad it was at first until he sat up and literally looked like Carrie. His face was completely red, there was a pool of blood, and he kept going. Like, I will give him credit for that. He lost a lot of blood and kept going. However, Brock Lesnar, the part-time champion, hit him with another F5, pinned him, got the championship, and just left the ring, while Roman was flocked with medical staff. And that was it. That was the end of WrestleMania. There was no big, happy moment, no moment of triumph, no fanfare, nothing. The very last shot of WrestleMania was Roman Reigns walking up the ramp, genuinely looking like he was either gonna pass out or puke. And I don't know how I feel about that. In fact, all this match has done is make me feel bad for Roman Reigns. So yeah, it was a very odd WrestleMania. To call it disappointing would be harsh. It was still entertaining at the very least. It had its low moments, but it was definitely balanced out by the higher moments. It just so happened to include a lot of very unexpected swerves and ended on an oddly somber note. What were your thoughts on WrestleMania 34? Leave them in the comments. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a like. And if you haven't already, remember to subscribe and hit that notification button. And as always, pour yourself a nice cup of tea and join me next Friday at 8 for the next video.